Hello, everybody, and welcome
Wait, fuck.
to Tombs of Scoria.
I'm sorry, I always forget. Can you do the thing on your mic? It's always low when we start.
Shit. Sorry about that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tombs of Scoria.
Based.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Our party, where last we left, had just encountered a small clan of cloud giants on the plane of air. After working out their puzzle on where to go, after defeating a fireworm and watching the demons on that plane immediately turn on each other and fight for supremacy, here we stand in the plane of air, just before we're about to step through or use the planar manipulator to hop from one dimension to another, to this pseudo-plane of air, which a giant said was Verasi's personal pseudo-plane of air that she used for who knows what.
Wait.
Is that about right?
Yep, I think so.
Wait. Verasi or Velthara? Is that the same?
Velthara. I'm sorry.
Velthara.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Goddesses, they've got a V in their name, they like
Okay.
death, easily confused.
Hmm.
It's not like I've been playing with these names for 9 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that about the good recap of where we were and what we've done?
More or less, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you stand at the weakened point. You pick no particular place with your manipulator. The three of you hold hands. How is it? Is it the imp and Imric both holding onto Tyriel's opposite hands, or is Imric the link between the imp and Tyriel?
The imp's probably on my shoulder and I'm holding Cyril's hand.
And have you come up with a name for your imp yet?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit embarrassed by it. I think it's got to be Imprick.
Yeah, you should be embarrassed.
Impric.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you know when my friends just had a baby and they gave it like a temporary name while they thought of a better one?
Wait,
So
people do that?
Yeah, they did it, yeah. So this is its temporary name while I think of a better one.
Wait. Walk.
That's a thing?
No. Walk me through that. You got 9 months to think of a name. How much longer do you need? What is a temporary name for? Do they want to see its characteristics to see?
I think they just were indecisive, you know, they just weren't sure.
How old is the baby?
It's got a name now. But I
How
think
long
it
did it
took,
take to name
it
it?
took like a month maybe for them to come up with a name.
What were they calling it? Like Spot or what?
I don't remember. It's called Henry now, but I can't remember what they were calling it before.
I've
like
never heard of
something-
people.
Really?
Someone in chat said it's a common practice in South Korea. I've never heard of a temporary name before.
There you go, you know. They're just lazy people. I doubt they're watching, so I feel like that's quite a mean thing to say, but they were these people that they were. Oh god, this is bad to be sort of like talking about. It's 2,000 people. They've got no idea, but they kind of like didn't acknowledge the fact they were having the baby until like, you know, until it actually happened. If you know what I mean, they were kind of.
That seems kind of challenging to do
In
from
denial.
a woman's point of view. When you
I
say in
agree.
denial, you mean like
Yeah.
they're going to the bar and like getting wasted, or like?
No, not quite as bad as that. But when you'd ask them about it, they'd be like, "Ah, yeah, I don't know, whatever." You know, like they just hadn't thought about it. So
Just like resting your beer on your wife's giant belly while you're watching TV,
Yeah.
like. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Jesus.
So this is your temporary baby name, Imprick, before you
Imprick,
settle
yeah.
on Henry for your imp's name.
yeah. Like the thing is, I asked chat for suggestions, and everyone came up with like meme ideas. Like the other one was Oster, like Imposter, which is just stupid. I didn't even play. I've literally never even played Among Us. I'm not going to call it that. So I don't know what else. You know, what's a common name for an imp, Neal? Like, give me an example. What are other imps called?
You wouldn't have any idea.
Exactly. So it's hard.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. Yeah, it's. What'd you name your cat?
Cleo.
Or did it come with a
Oh.
name?
No, well, I called it Cleopatra, but we just call it Cleo.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I know. I thought
That's
I'd call the
really-
imp Cleo actually,
Yeah.
but it's a male imp, I think, not a female imp.
Sure. Then
Yeah.
I guess Cleo's not.
Appropriate.
Anyway. Imp on your shoulders, hands with Tyriel, and 1, 2, 3, and away we go.
Wait, to be clear, we're entering the protoplane right now. We're not entering the rift, right?
The pseudo-plane.
Yes.
Or the pseudoplane. Yes. Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. with a blink and a flash and a loud sound, I need Imric. Tyrael, each of you roll a d20, and whoever gets the lowest roll needs to make me a strength check.
Shit.
Oh,
Hold on, I'll roll lower. Don't worry, because I'm really
you
strong,
roll
okay?
lower.
I got you.
Nice.
oh my god, Tyrael, give me a strength check.
I got you. I need to roll high, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be throwing a big number out here.
Oh,
Ooh.
boom. Nice work.
You arrive in the pseudo-plane of air and are immediately confronted by whipping acid rains and winds that try to pull the two of you apart in different directions. You have passed your strength tech, Tyrael. You were the one to grab onto Imric more tightly as soon as you pulled away from each other, and you have held onto him. Imric, your imp you mentioned was on your shoulder, so that's like 2 claws on you and like hands on you. There's no way he's going to go anywhere. However, everyone is surrounded by an intense swirling wind in the middle of a maelstrom filled with acid rain. I will need everybody in the party to make me saving throws versus rods, stabs, and wands. These are at the, of course, -4s. Imric clearly passes. Tyrael, I don't think you're going to get a plus.
Wait, why are we clearly at -4s?
Because you're on another plane of existence. -4 to saves.
Okay, hold on. Fuck, how many bonuses do I have?
Let's double check here. Yeah, because we need
this
7. So
this brings me down to a 1. I'm getting
Yeah.
2 from my Ring of Protection, so that brings me up to 3. I'm getting 3 from my Green Dragon Armor +3. So that brings me up to 6.
Luckstone brings you up to 7.
Luckstone brings me up to 7.
Oh, wow. What a useless item.
True. Think,
gonna be
Imric!
another-
Think! Do I have +1 from
thinking.
any other point?
Does he get dex to this? Maybe dex bonus,
No.
willpower
he's
bonus.
No. You guys are reaching. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think that's
all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Imric, you will take half of this. Tyrael, you will take all of this. And Tyrael, your gear. Oh,
Wait.
let me take a look at your character sheet. Yeah.
Oh shit! Is Imprick okay?
No, Imric needs to make me a save. Please roll it.
Easy.
He will take half of that. Please keep track of his HP.
Yeah.
All right, Tyrael. We're going to take a look at your character sheet and see what else needs a saving throw.
Oh no.
Sure. Wait, real quick. My save sucks. Yours is really that low?
I factored in my bonuses into my actual save.
okay, never mind. Just making sure. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
your saves are insanely low. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to sort through your character sheet, so hold on here. Temporal. No. Ooh, okay. How many things do we have here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I want you to roll me a D8. Tyrael. Your boots of springing and striding are run into a particularly nasty patch and are going to need to make me a saving throw. I'm going to find out what their saves are right now. Failure means they are destroyed.
Okay.
They are made out of leather, so their acid saving throw is a 10 or better.
Wait, but he still gets his bonuses, right, to it? His magic protections and stuff like that would still...
He has failed his first saving throw, so those will not apply here.
Rip.
Rip! Boots of springing and striding, ripped apart within the acid storm. The two of you are tumbling in this maelstrom. There is no light here except for sort of like a glowing and then alternating like completely dark again and then glowing again, something in front of you as you are being whirled to your right. Forward, going anti-clockwise.
We have to find the
rift, right?
Yeah. Do we see anything? It should be immediately noticeable, no? Or is it not?
This place is dark. It is very dark. There is no source of light anywhere here other than this occasional glowing thing that you see that vanishes again before you. However, this acid storm is not going away. Each round that you stay in this acid storm, we will have to do more saving throws for damage and possibly destroyed gear. So, solve these problems fast. Go.
Okay, well, wait. Hang on. I cast Ultravision on us before we left the demon plane. Has that run out now?
Yes, definitely. Well, let me double check the time, but I'm like 99% sure.
Should have been 16 hours. It should last.
Yeah, definitely gone.
Can I cast spells here?
You can breathe. You can move your hands. But if you let go of Tyrael, the two of you will be separated.
Can I just hold on to him?
Yeah, but that means he can't use somatic and material components. He can use one or the other.
I take out the magical rope and I bind us together.
That'll be your action for this round. Yep, you can do that. You
can
can sling your pack off your shoulder, grab the rope out of it, and bind it to the two of you with your verbal commands.
I think I'm going to polymorph Tyrael. I think that's going to be our best bet to get out of here. So maybe wait for me to polymorph before you bind me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put on my ring of spell storing.
How?
Well, just switch the rings over. It's up from one finger to another.
Which hand are your rings on? Does you know? Because
No.
Tyrael's holding one of your hands very tightly, and that hand cannot have rings moved on them.
Why do I have to be holding his
you're-
hand? Why can't I be holding onto his waist or something?
Because we talked earlier that you were holding onto each other's hands when you jumped planes, and now you're gripping tightly.
Okay. Well, I think we work together this round to stay together whilst I switch this ring. I
Okay.
think we can do that together, right? If we both take our action to do that.
Yes, the wind is strong. You'll have to shout at each other, but you're holding each other. You can shout the distance, no problem. So you can... How does that work? Just give me a brief... It's possible, but I just want to know your details.
If Tyrael's grabbing onto my hands, he probably holds onto one hand, uses his other hand to now grab onto my waist. Then, once he's secured on the waist, moves his other hand to my waist, and then, now that my hands are free, I can switch the rings.
Excellent. So you have switched which two rings, Emmerich?
I'm going to switch out my ring of fire resistance for my ring of spell storing.
Okay. Excellent. On to the next round. Everyone make me saving throws versus rod, stabs, and wands. That is success. Well, natural 3 is always a failure, so a failure.
Yeah.
And the imp? Success. All right. Imric, you'll take 9. Tyrael and Imp, you will take 4. And Imric, let me look at your gear list.
Oh yeah, magic resist in this? Any benefits to
No, this is acid. It's not magic.
that?
Sorry.
Is this limiting my regeneration? Because otherwise I would gain 1 HP back this round.
Yes.
Okay.
Acid does not regenerate that way. Let's see. That's in your bag. Let's go 1.
You're going to want to look at my
2.
on tab.
Yeah, I'm on your on tab.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Are we level 12 warriors or 13? We're 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop!
Oh, sorry. I always forget that it does that.
7. 7. Yeah, roll me another d8. Five. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your Amulet of Recall. Oh, that's a bad one. Okay, Amulet of Recall is metal. Its acid save is 13 or higher on a d20.
I think the Luckstone should come into this. Correct? I mean...
You already failed your save. This is your item's ability to resist. Oh, the Amulet of Recall is damaged beyond repair and destroyed.
What the fuck?
All right, the two of you are holding on to each other. Imric has got his hands free. You're in a pitch-dark, swirling maelstrom of acid rain. Next round, what are you going to do?
Polymorph. Into a... Let me just check. How big is a giant eagle? No, Pegasus. Obviously a Pegasus, yeah.
Obviously,
That's the one.
Pegasus.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
polymorph me too, or just yourself?
Just myself. You're going to have to hold on. I'm sorry.
Does the Ring of Spell Storing have a ton of spells stored in it? How many polymorphs
No,
does it have?
just one polymorph and it has to be recharged.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you have become a Pegasus. Whoosh.
Yeah.
And then what? What is Tyrael
Well-
doing this round?
He's holding on.
Now I've got the rope. I can bind us with the rope again. I'll just do that.
Excellent. Imric changes into a Pegasus before you. You can grab onto his mane or something, grab the rope, bind it around the two of you. The two of you are now connected, and Imric's got wings.
Yeah.
Give me a D. Ooh, I want you to make me a roll for how you're definitely bound together, but how favorable is your binding? Like, are you bound in a seated riding position, or was the only way that you could do this in a single round to like bind yourself to one of his legs? Lawyer me an appropriate roll to see how well you can attach yourself to him.
I would say, he was holding onto my waist, so it makes sense that he'd be positioned at least either
Underneath
under,
you?
or on top, but not on a leg. He's going to be at the core of me.
Well,
How
lawyer
complicated?
me a roll.
Well, I mean, before I was saying I was able to say bind rope Imric waist. Can I still say that, or is it a one-word command, or what? How?
It's a one-word command. I just didn't want to get into the weeds of what you're doing. You just
Okay.
say bind, and it binds to the thing.
It's going to be
So-
a dex check for Tyrael, right? Probably. To be able to maneuver into the right position while the rope is binding him.
That sounds right.
Is that what you want to go with, Tyrael? All right, do it. Give me a dex check.
Hold on. I didn't lose any dex from the Boots of Spring and Striding, right? I think I just lost an AC. I think most of my
Yeah, I
dex
don't
right now
think
is
they
coming from
give
the Cloak of the
Dex.
Cheetah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
only get dex from one source. So
Yeah, it's +3 from there, I think. I have to get you some new boots.
see how favorable it is.
Okay. I need roll. I'm gonna roll high. I don't care.
Yeah.
25.
25 is
Good
good enough. You are going to be positioned on Imric's back, but not like properly mounted him, but just like clinging onto
Yeah.
his back on your belly. That's still a great spot. You're not going to get in the way of the Pegasus's wings, and it does leave your hands free to do other things, and you have you can use him as cover a little bit. It's not too bad. Excellent. What are you doing with
Assuming-
your movement, Imric?
I assume Imprick is held on.
Yes, Imprick is holding on with claws for dear life, screaming into the void.
Oh wait, he took another 4 damage, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He's gonna die in about 3 turns. He needs to.
Can I
he,
grab
like-
him and shove him at the bag of holding next round when I see him getting hurt?
Yeah, I think that's what we need to protect him somehow, because otherwise he's kind of fucked. I need to fly towards the rift, Neal. So describe.
Where's the rift?
Kind of sounded like I'm in a cyclone.
Yes, you are in some sort of buffeting cyclone filled with acid rain. It is pitch black everywhere, except for this occasional glimpse of some sort of orangey, reddy color that appears and disappears again.
Is that
somewhere
inside the
before you.
cyclone?
That's where we're
or
going.
Outside
We're
of the
going to
cyclone.
the
It is-
color.
Yeah, I agree.
It's hard. You don't even know what's the inside and the outside. You're being twisted
Okay,
and turned in all
I'm
different
going towards
directions.
the light. Then I'm hoping that Tyrael's going to save the imp, but I just go.
Yeah.
You just start flying. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need Mr. Imric. You don't have ultravision. You're traveling in dangerous winds as a Pegasus. Let's see if the flying rules can provide any illumination for the encounters we're dealing with here. Vision and light, time and movement, aerial movement.
I can't believe Mutant destroyed your boots of springing and striding and our amulet of recall.
We're gonna have to steal all of his shit when we bring him back.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. True.
He's gonna be Anton the Naked.
That is a terrible set of rulings.
Yeah, I've got improvision from the imp, actually, so I can see a little bit.
Yes, you can see up to 60 feet.
Wait, there is an echo?
Um,
Sorry, people on my stream are
I'm
saying something.
I'm hearing it as well, but I'm surprised that it's coming through.
Wait, say that again. Or talk again.
Hello, hello, hello. I didn't hear it. No, I don't hear the echo anymore. Oh, yeah, it's coming from you.
Okay, weird. It's probably my headphones. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Just looking for our aerial maneuvering rules, hoping that they will provide some guidance. They do not. They do not across the board. All right, running, climbing, getting down. Nope. Okay, Emmerich, you're in a storm. You can't really see where you're going. You occasionally see this color of light, but you're also being whirled and swirled in different directions. I want you to make me...
I swear to God, if you say strength check.
Why would it be a strength check? You know, there's definitely not a strength check.
Because Okay.
Yeah, no, this is about finding the place that you're going and getting there. So it's probably like a perception check. To orient yourself correctly.
An int check now, because it's not just about seeing it. I can obviously see it, right? The goal is, how do I position my flight path to take advantage of the direction of the cyclone to sort of like...
Well, here's a question, actually. Can I, because I'm not doing anything this round. I'm just riding him kind of, or held on to him. Could I make a perception check?
Hold on. This is the same round that you were binding yourself to him. He polymorphed himself, and now this is his movement portion.
Okay.
Yeah. Imric, I think this round what you need to do is stabilize yourself to a position where you can reliably see this thing, or at least the direction that it's going, and you need to stop yourself from tumbling. So as a flying creature, how do you push against the winds to orient yourself in a stable position? That sounds like a strength check, actually.
No, it's Constitution, clearly.
To resist the internal nausea of being buffeted?
Yeah.
You're just saying this because 18 is your highest stat.
You're saying it because 9 is my third lowest stat. I swear, okay, I was going to say, I'm saying it now. Every single check William Marsh had to make was a fucking dex check, and somehow every check Imric has to make is a strength check.
I hear the gripe.
Wait, okay, hold on. You're arguing over you're arguing over whether you're making an int check to fly through the storm?
No, he's saying I need to buffet myself against the winds.
Okay.
I'm saying that that's Constitution more than it's strength. I'll meet you halfway and say an average of both.
Okay,
it's not, well, actually, wait,
that check.
It can't be strength, actually. Because, like, if you're, like, swimming in an ocean and there's, like, rust stuff going on, that's never strength. That's always about, like, moving in the appropriate manner through the water. You can't swim through, like, a riptide, or you can't swim through, like, a big wave. You have to maneuver it correctly, right?
So give me, what is a maneuvering check in order to align yourself and correct yourself to the wind?
Well, the maneuvering check is being intelligent to know which way to move.
It's both it's int and dex. You could say, I'll tell you what, I'll settle on dex.
I think it's probably closer to willpower instead of intelligence, because that's like your instinct, and wisdom willpower is your instinct.
Not true. Absolutely not true.
What's your wisdom willpower? Is it low?
That's 7, so that's really bad.
I feel like you're just going to lawyer for whatever your high stats are without any thought to what actually makes sense.
I will say, to be clear, because it sounds like you would do that, but in the real world, that is kind of what you would do, right? Like, let's say you had to move a rock. If you're really fucking strong, you don't give a fuck, you just move it. But let's say that you can't move it, but like you're pretty smart, maybe you'll position your body in a way so it's like a more intelligent than like just like Roger. Okay. So that's not like the worst thing. Just saying, you know.
Alright, that's fair. I will give you an intelligence check at disadvantage because it's not the optimal stat for it, but you're going to try and use your intelligence to overcome the problems. How's that?
Well, what about, I mean, dex or con, it's just as good.
Int at disadvantage is pretty good.
So it's int at disadvantage or strength, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh god, what's better? I'm not sure.
Trying to break out
I'll go into disadvantage.
I think that's the better choice. Oh, so close. It is a tumbling thing. You begin to sort of align yourself, but you're a Pegasus. You're pretty familiar with being a Pegasus, but the plane of air is weird. You've never been in a storm like this before, and you toss and you tumble and you whirl and you stumble, and we go to the next round. And top of the round, everyone give me the saving throws versus rod, stabs, and wands, and then your actions. That's gonna. We did the math before. You pass on a. No, you didn't. You failed on a 5. Right.
That can't possibly be right.
Because it's -4, and then.
Oh yeah, because you've got the weird -4 stuff going on.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right, and Imric, that's for your imp.
I pass. Impric fails. Unless he gets a bonus to his saves for
I
some
don't
reason.
think there might be a ruling on imps gaining power reciprocally from their masters. That's probably worth checking out right now.
Probably.
Yeah.
This round I'm putting him in the bag, assuming he doesn't die. I don't know. How much HP does he have?
He's got 16 right now before he takes this damage, so
He's good.
just about.
No, the master gains benefits from the imp, but the imp does not get anything from them unless Find Familiar empowers them. Because Find Familiar gives them a bonus to their HP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it also give them bonuses to saves? B, C, D, E, F, G, Find Familiar. Ooh, when the familiar is in physical contact with its wizard, it gains the wizard's saving throws against special attacks.
Oh, well, this would be a special attack.
A special attack would normally cause damage. The familiar suffers no damage if the save is successful and half if it's failed. I think that's like breath weapons if the familiar dies. Yeah, I think that's breath weapons, and this is like just an AoE. You're in an acid rain area. Okay, so the damage for this round from the acid rain is gonna be not too bad. 6 to the fails, 3 to the passes, and it looks like Tyrael has also suffered a failure. Roll me a D8 again, Tyrael.
7, surely.
Well, we're gonna stick with 8 for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Oh, sorry, you rolled a 4. I should have stopped counting once I got to 4. 1, 2.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm just woo-hoo. 3, 4. Your girdle of giant strength. Oh no. Oh no. A girdle. A girdle's made out of leather, right?
Maybe.
I think so. It's definitely not made out of glass or cloth or bone. Could be made out of metal, but I think a girdle of giant strength is a leather item. It's not an oil, paper potion, rock, rope. Yeah, leather, 10. It's one of the better saves here. 10 or higher on a d20.
Okay.
You already passed it.
Yeah, I rolled a 13.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Your girdle is fine and intact. Actions this round.
I'm going to be bagging the imp.
Yep. The imp will allow you to bag it. Now, here's a question, Imric. If the imp goes into the bag of holding, it's going to be more than a mile from you, right? You're gonna lose imp benefits when it's no longer nearby.
I mean, I guess so, yeah, but it's better than it being dead. Yeah.
Excellent. In the bag, the imp goes. It's willing. It's telepathic. It knows what's going down. Poof. Imp is safe. Imric, what are you going to do this round? What do you got?
I'm trying to fly towards the color.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay, you got to stabilize yourself because it's there, and then it's not there, and then it's there, and it's not there, and then the winds are tossing you head over heels or hoof over wings.
There's still intelligence, yeah? Disadvantage.
Or strength, yeah. Your choice. Oh, that's terrible. You can do this, though, right? You only need a 6 or higher? That's a reasonable roll.
Not for
On
me.
2 dice?
Apparently.
Oh no. Okay. We go to the next round. Saving throws for the two of you. Luckily, the imp is alive and safe. Pass.
Both pass. Good.
Excellent. Everyone will just take a wee bit of damage. Just a small.
What rings was Nick wearing when he polymorphed?
Protection and storing. Spell storing. No free action.
Dumb.
Well, I didn't want to... It would have meant moving 2 rings, and also...
Yeah, that's fine.
I would have lost the +2 to saves.
You're a Pegasus? Can I slide the ring down your horn or whatever? I'm just kidding.
That's a unicorn, buddy.
Okay, I try my int saves again.
Okay, you can do it. I believe in you, Emmerich. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
There we go.
You stabilize yourself against the storm. You spread those wings. You tilt them up just the right amount, and now you've got yourself nice and balanced. You're still being pulled, but now you're being pulled with the wind, which is an awkward sensation. Pegasus are designed to fly into the wind, but here you've managed to find a way to hold going sideways, and you can see that there is this like rotating, flashing orange thing that appears in the darkness every so often. It'll appear for 1 second every 3 or 4 seconds.
All right, we just need to get close to it, and then you can use the planar manipulator, right? Once we're nearby.
If you say so.
Yeah, I think so. As long as that's the closest, easiest path.
True.
Yeah.
All right, next round, saves. Oh, brutal. Oh,
Was a 5?
That's a pass, I think, right?
no, because it goes down to 1, and he's got +6, which brings him to 7. That was the first save that he made.
Such bullshit. How are we failing all these rolls?
Well, you killed a fireworm. Your dice had to eventually fail you. Emmerich and Tyrael, give me d8s. All right, we will start with Tyrael.
Well, whatever it is, it's gone.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you rolled both the dice? You didn't even wait?
Nope.
Oh, God. Last time it was the Girdle of Strength. This is going to be your wrist item. Your wrist says you are wearing Bracers of Shock and Grasp and Archery, but you can only really be wearing one at a time. Which one is it?
So if you go to my combat sheet, I have the one I've got currently worn right now. So it'd be the Bracers of Shock and Grasp is what I have worn right now.
Excellent. Those are metallic. They have a saving throw of 13 or higher on a d20. You fail. Bracers of Shock and Grasp destroyed. Emmerich, you
I'm
rolled
polymorphed, so my gear is protected, right?
That's true.
But
So that defaults to 8. You just take extra damage. You take another 10.
Okay. Wait, you didn't roll with damage the first time.
You're right. You take 18. And Tyrael will take 8. Okay, we're oriented towards the storm. The acid rain buffets us. Tyrael's grabbing onto the Pegasus. The rope binds the two of you together. What are you gonna do?
Alright. Well, I'm going towards it. That's it now, right?
You're just gonna flap your little wings and head towards the rift?
Yeah, if it is the rift. Good.
You did not check anything else. Tyrael said there's color. Let's go to color, and that's where
there's
we're going.
there's not exactly much time to think, so yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So what do you want this time?
Nothing. You spend
Okay.
around flying. Not a problem.
Okay.
No. The only thing is, well, Tyrael, do you have an action this round?
what? No, like, I'm just unless I can help in some way him navigate or something. No.
That's why I'm asking if you have an action.
Nope.
Excellent. You fly towards this thing, and you're definitely getting in the tighter section of the storm. You can really feel that acceleration, that centrifugal force, like pulling the blood away from you as you go in towards this thing. It's blinking on and off, and you get the sensation that there's like a front, which is sort of like a long ovular shape of like orange something, and then the backside is this blackness. And when you're seeing it for a second, that's because you've come back round in front of it, and then you're twirling around and around. But now, the force is sort of making you uncomfortable because you're going in a really, really tight circle. But you also begin to feel like a sucking motion coming in front of you, like your hair's getting pulled forward, but you can still feel the blood rushing towards your back a little bit. It feels like whatever this long, orange, skinny thingy is trying to suck you fully inside of it. You have 1 round to make your decisions. If you want to go in, or if you want to do something else, we'll just need 1 more set of saves, and then your fate is yours.
We're going in.
Give me 1 more set of saves, then. Pass. Pass.
Nice.
Just a wee bit of damage then, as the acid rain pelts you. And Emmerich, you're gonna guide our party into this
Rift.
awkward rifty thingy.
Yes.
Excellent. In we go. And we're gonna take our first break of the game right here.
We'll be back.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tombs of Scoria. What was the last thing the two of you were thinking about as you were plummeting towards that orange light?
I don't think there was much time to think. I think we were just like action mode.
Yeah, I think I was probably thinking that this looks like a rift. And I was thinking, I wonder if Tyrell's going to use the planar manipulator before we get through.
Yeah,
the
when
rift.
we get near it, I would, because we only have to be near
Absolutely.
the thing rather than.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you are now in a rift between planes of existences, not in any actual real space or existence. You are in a area of like pure magical charge and complete vacuums where the laws of nature do not make sense, and you find yourself walking amongst your past. The two of you are, it's either walking through memories or revisiting events from a different perspective. Maybe this is actually what the land of the dead looks like, because when you're dead, you get to walk amongst your memories before. Maybe this is some sort of like planar afterlife sampling your existence. But
Or maybe
here
we
you
did just
are.
walk into certain death, and this is the afterlife.
Yeah. But here you are as young men, boys even, back as kids in Wicthron Renta, long before the war came, maybe like 20 years ago. I think you're in your early 30s, most of you. And
Wait,
you find...
we're before our early 30s now, because we were in our early 30s, right? So I understood it.
Yeah,
this
he's
is-
saying we're like
Yeah, okay.
20 years ago. So I'm probably like 9 or something, 10 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the early days. What are the early happy memories of your youth that specifically involve Anton? That is the thing at the other end of this rift. If you're thinking about going towards the rift, you're really, truly thinking about where Anton is. So what are your early childhood memories of Anton?
I think I've probably got a memory of like he would come to the wizard school, right, and he'd like pull me out of class and say that I need to go and like my mum needs me or something like that, and pull me out of class, and then we'd go and walk around the streets of the city, going through the market, just walking around the city, bunking off school basically.
What about you, Tyrael? What are your early memories of Anton like?
This is an important question. What do when was Anton's face scarred?
When he was young, I believe.
Like
I don't
4
know.
or like 15?
Anton, you want to put it in chat for us? Because I know you're listening. I know you're here. Somewhere beyond the rift.
5 or 6, he says. The other chat in Destiny's chat.
Got it.
Yeah.
He was 5 or 6, yeah. So that's... And he's a few years younger than you? So this must be just a couple years after that happened.
5 or 6, okay. I would say that Tyrael, being the big brother and trying to be as cool and chill and nice as possible, I think he's spending a lot of time with his uncle, who is stealing stuff, learning the evil tricks and ways of the rogue. But I imagine there's probably a lot of like goods and stuff that flows through. Like if you're in any like bazaar or area where there's a lot of black market activity, you're probably seeing a lot of foreign stuff too. So I'd say that one of the things that Tyrael would do is for any work for his uncle or for any items that he would have gotten stolen, not like magical items, but coins or whatever, he would be buying masks to play with his 2 brothers, so that if all 3 of them were running around outside wearing masks, Anton's face wouldn't feel fucked up when we're like running around with people, so that he wouldn't feel so bad about being all scarred up or whatever.
That's nice, isn't it?
Oh, that's really sweet. Oh. All right. Now tell me about a time that the 3 of you felt safe and warm and cozy all together as a group. What is the physical setting of that? Because you're sort of, this noble family who's sort of outcast, the queen who abdicated the throne but like still hangs around and lives in the capital. It's a bit of an odd situation. You don't really fit in anywhere, but where is the one spot you fit in, the physical place that you belonged and felt comfortable?
Gotta be home, right?
I don't think
Where
so.
in your house, though? Oh, good. Yeah,
I think
please.
it would be the first few days that we spent traveling around in a little cart because I think that was the first time that the three of us were truly like out on our own. We'd made little traps, we had little hidden compartments, we had our little servant guy. That's when we had like kind of first set out to start like building on our name in a way that wasn't just a slave to the past horrible shit that was involved in our family and everything. So in those first few weeks or months after Clertus was sending us out on missions, and we had our little family card that we were rolling.
Maybe
around.
even that. I was thinking about this the other night. The first combat we had was when we were attacked by a mountain lion.
That's a little bit further in your future than I want to go. I'm still talking about when you were young, when you were kids, when you were youths.
When was the first time we felt at home?
Where was a place that you felt safe and comfortable and like you belonged there, instead of being these awkward social outcasts and brigands and thieves?
Well, I think we would have struggled with, we would have mixed with nobility, but we'd have always felt like outcasts. So I feel like the one time we'd have felt at home would have been when we were at home. Maybe when our father came back from war or wherever he was doing he was on duty end, and we'd be in the house together, sat around by the fire. He'd be telling us a story of, what he was doing out in the field or his job or whatever. Maybe Imric sees that a bit more fondly than the older two, who maybe had a harder time with dad.
Okay. And last question from your early youth. Who was Anton to you in your early days? You know a lot of people. Everyone sort of has a different meaning and a different impact on you. Sometimes you've got a person who's like, this is my friend that I go out and do things with. This is the person that I like stay home and watch TV with. Everyone sort of has a role somewhere in your life. What was Anton's role in each of your lives separately? Because I don't imagine it's the same thing for both of you.
I think that, Imric would maybe get bullied at wizard school for not being as smart and for being a social outcast, being a shitty noble. And I think maybe Anton would kind of, be the older brother, look after him, maybe like scare off the bullies, maybe even, slap them around a little bit. And he'd
use that
Imric
scar on his face to like.
Yeah, he was like to
menace
intimidate
people.
them. So Imric would kind of see him as like a defender or a protector a little bit.
Oh, what about you, Tyrael? Who was Anton to you in your early days?
I'd feel like, did you say you felt like his defender or like he was a defender of you?
No, he was my defender, yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'd feel the opposite, that he was just kind of like
Yeah.
a scared kid. He was like really mean to everybody, but he kind of needed people to cover for him. Like back in our early days of adventuring, he was just like a lonely dude that talked to rats and mice, and that's kind of like what he was in the beginning. And I think that's still like kind of the image that Tyrael has in his mind of Anton before he sold his soul to Velthar and started crucifying his wives and shit.
He was just the kid who talked to rats and was off on his own, kind of
the mouse talker.
mouse talker.
Like a scared child. I think it's interesting that we both had an exact opposite view of Anton and the role he served in our lives,
Middle child syndrome, 100%. Yeah. Right. Well, as you fall through this rift, being pulled in different directions by all these different energies, you find yourself at the beginning of your adventures. You are now a little bit older, and you have a purpose. The kingdom has come knocking on your door, asking you to serve. Talk to me about the early days of your quests, the early days of your purpose here. Why you are the Magari Dragon Slayers.
I think that Imric felt happy to be hanging out with his older brothers, to be doing something meaningful, to be entrusted with something and not be treated like a complete fuck up, despite the fact he was a bit of a fuck up. And those early days of adventures are hazy at best. When Imric thinks back to them, he was drunk most of the time, and was kind of unconscious in a lot of the big fights, and was really just getting led along by the other two in terms of what he had to do. So yeah, he has fond memories of those times, but it's kind of like the fond memories you have of like looking back to when you were the summer when you were 19 and you can't really remember it, but you had a good time. Because you were drunk all the time.
And how did both of you feel during your sort of being given this quest of protecting the kingdom from Scoria, hiding, doing this stuff in secret? Was this a moment of grandeur for you? A moment of what did it mean to be handpicked by the queen to save the kingdom when no one would give you the time of day?
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily felt handpicked. because it was obviously highly convenient, seeing that they could trust us because of our sister, or the queen's sister being our mom and everything. But I mean, it was definitely an opportunity to write the ship on our family name, which for Tyrael was like back then the most important thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. And what purpose did you feel when this happened to you?
That purpose, the idea that we were finally in a position to start to rebuild the family name, maybe gain some real honor or respect from our father, and then to kind of like put our name back on the map after our mom kind of gave up royalty and everything else.
So for you, it was all about family from the get-go.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the kingdom or the people. It was always about the family.
Yeah, I think it was a family.
name.
It didn't really feel, because the kingdom didn't really feel like much of a thing to us, or at least not to Tyrael. Like he spent most of his time with his uncle in the underworld, and yeah, fuck the kingdom.
Yeah. What about you, Imric? Did you have that similar nothing else matters, I'm just here for my family? Or
No,
you were
I
a little
don't
bit
think
more
so.
integrated with the magical societies?
Yeah, Emmerich rubbed shoulders with the nobility and the other social circles of that kind of world more. So I think for him it was more of a like a chance to prove himself, you know, like validation. Like, yeah, you know, I'm not what they all say I am, sort of thing. I can do this, and you know, I do have some worthwhile, and me and my brothers are going to show everyone. But not taking it too seriously, you know, like not really engaging with what it meant or the reality of what was to come. It was more just, you know, this is going to be a good story to tell back at the bar. You know, they won't laugh at me then. I'll be able to say, you know, I snuck into a secret wizard's laboratory and fought, you know, snuck past traps and killed kobolds, and you know, I'm an adventurer now. Like, what have you ever done? You're just sitting in this bar getting pissed, same as me. At least I'm doing something. Yeah, just so what, you can cast a magic missile. I don't care.
Right. And in those early days, I would like each of you to remind me of 2 quests that you went on that felt like it was significant to your character growth. And you can, you know, 1, 1, 1, 1 would be a nice way of flipping back and forth between it. Whoever's got a quest from the early days that felt meaningful to you in some way, shape, or form.
One of the first really big meaningful quests that also was kind of a guilty pleasure, I think, was after we'd gone through the trouble of getting those candles, we had set up and executed a pretty clever plan that involved fucking over other kind of nobility to steal shit from them in that dinner, and that felt good for a few reasons. One is because we were using the items that we'd gained through our own work and everything, and then 2 is because it gave us the opportunity to fuck over other noble people, which always feels good. Just fuck them. The dinner heist.
Ah, the dinner heist was good. That's where you met, what's her name, isn't it?
Shelley. Yeah.
Ah, Shelley.
I'm going to get a little bit further back to the second quest we went on. Was some local noble lady's daughter had gone missing, and we were meant to be looking for her grave or something because she'd had some magic items. And Imric spoke to an architect and charmed his daughter to try and find the information of where the grave was. But before all of that happened, we snuck into the wrong grave, and Tyrael and Anton were trying to steal the silver rings from the grave. And this wasn't the person we were looking for. And they were like, yeah, you know, we'll give them back later. And I think Imric had, for the first time, a feeling of morality. Like, maybe my goal here is to keep everyone on the steady path, on the straight and narrow, make sure we're doing the right thing. I think for the first time felt that twang of responsibility and, like, what's the right word for it? I can't think of the word, but like, you know, when you have like a requirement that you have to fill, you know, like a responsibility basically to the kingdom and to everything we were doing, and that we should stand for something better. And yeah, that's probably one moment, I guess, where you decided to try and do the right thing.
And did it work out? Did you convince them to put the rings back?
No.
But it gave you purpose.
Yeah, it did. I did. In the future, though, I did talk them out of doing bad things, and I think that was the start of that.
And Tyrael, one more quest from you that felt significant or impactful or meaningful to your character on a personal level from the early days.
From the early days, because I was gonna say, I don't know if this counts as early days or not, but was it not Belarus? What was the name of the first dragon we slayed?
Azeron.
Oh, Azeron. I don't know if that's too far in the future, but slaying the first dragon was
fine.
Yeah, that was significant because that was the first time that we finally got to test our might against going through an entire dragon's lair, climbing up that mountain, and then fighting and slaying a dragon.
And that was the first time you got real admiration from the people and the nobles, right? You were given a parade, practically.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. That was, you guys were known as the Dragon Slayers for a while. You were mounting dragon heads on castle walls until Shine came along.
Yeah. There's also a secret, a small one. Tyrael kind of regrets doing the quest where we went to one of those cities, one of those free cities, looking for like an anti-dragon potion or whatever. Because that's where Anton found that fucking amulet and the circlet or whatever, and everything changed. So sometimes he wonders if things would have been better if we didn't go in that direction. But
what about you, Imric? What is your second quest that fulfilled you with purpose or meaning or was significant to your development?
I'm trying to remember when he stopped drinking, because that's clearly the thing that made the biggest impact on his character. But I can't. I think maybe it was a more gradual thing. At some point, Imric went from being down on himself and thinking that he was kind of just along for the ride and he wasn't really much of a wizard, not really much of a fighter, and not really much use, to now kind of almost feeling like, well, you know, he could do anything almost. There's nothing really that can stand in his way, and the best mage in the whole of Drekis, and probably one of the best fighters as well. That's kind of been a gradual process. In terms of a specific quest, it's tough because I'm keep coming back to a moment that it wasn't really a quest, but we just going to deal with the necromancer and the zombies and that before we walked into that ambush. But there was a black dragon in the swamp, and it was hiding in the water, and I basically killed it in one round with my bow. I think it was on like low health, and I just got like 3 triple crits, and it came out of the swamp, and I just fucked it up and killed it, and it was like, yeah, okay, this is...
When you weren't just Imric the mage, you were also Imric the warrior.
And just, you know, an unstoppable force capable of doing the things that Anton and Tyrael were capable of doing beforehand.
Mm-hmm. And last question before we move on here. To each of you, during this period of time, who was Anton to you in these early days of saving the kingdom from Scoria?
Prior to the amulet, I would say still the same that he was as a child. He was strong. He'd come into his own as a warrior, but like still like had his little pet mouse and seemed like relatively innocent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anton seemed more... I guess Imric always saw him as the, you know, the older brother, the hard-faced fighter, you know, someone who could hold his own. But never having seen him really in a position of weakness. But then throughout the course of our adventures, there's been a few times where Anton's been in trouble. I seem to remember when we were going in Rohanna's tomb, he slipped into the water, and Imric had to dive down with a rope and save him from drowning. And maybe that's what I should have said for the last answer, actually, as something that was more of a formative experience. But I think Anton kind of became something else. I think Tyrael's right. You know, he started off and he was just like my older brother, but he kind of became separated from the two of us. And I think Tyrael and Imric are maybe more close in terms of family now because we've held on to more of our humanity maybe than Anton has. He's definitely given up part of himself. So I think Imric looks back on those early days of adventure more fondly, probably because Anton was more of the person that he remembered, whereas now he's something else.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are still moving through this rift inexorably towards its end, because a rift is a one-dimensional place between two extremes, and you are getting tugged along it. You must be getting close to the negative energy plane somehow, because your thoughts and your lives as you walk through them turn into a little bit different. It's less fond, happy memories, but you find yourself, at least Tyrael, you find yourself in Glacia again. That dream that you had where you're talking with the queen and she asks you to strip off your armor and meet her in the private bathing pools underneath the castle. Do you remember how did that incident go down? It wasn't real, right?
I don't remember how it went down exactly, but it was a ploy or a trap by the queen. It was either she invited me down to kill me, or I was like a fly on the wall for a conversation where she was talking to her trusted advisors about how we'd have to be dealt with after the kingdom had defeated Scoria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did she say? Do you remember?
Like, it's not like we've exhausted their usefulness or something like that? Was it something along those lines? I don't remember.
Maybe they're
would,
too
though.
dangerous to keep around. No.
Or maybe that, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I roll a check on this to remember?
No, if you can't remember, you just can't remember.
Fuck
I
you.
suppose. Yeah. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Imric, when was the first time that you felt like you were being manipulated by the kingdom, by the queen, and by the generals and admirals and...
It's quite funny, actually. Imric's never really felt like that, and he's always kind of taken the position against the other two in defending the queen and defending the kingdom. But, you know, ever since the last couple of weeks, he's started to maybe see things differently, like maybe just feel a little bit less positive about these other people in his life, the queen, Oxombar, and all these other people. And maybe they don't necessarily have his best interests at heart. So I'd say that's quite a recent feeling for Imric. He's always kind of wanted to... I don't know if you've ever had this relationship with someone, you know, in a group where when one person takes like a really firm stance on one side, you kind of position yourselves as like the opposite of that. Anton has always been so anti-queen and anti-don't trust the royal family that Imric's kind of just made his point to try and defend them and be a counter to that. With Anton gone, with the things that have happened to Imric, maybe now is the first time he's kind of thinking, you know, maybe Anton did have a point with some of those things. Maybe he's like replaying some of those conversations that he's had with Anton in his head and maybe saying things slightly differently than he had done before.
It's very convenient, isn't it, that your quest thus far has kept you out of all of the war room decisions. It's kept you out of all of the international politics. It's kept you out of even really knowing what's going on with the war. Can you even name one top general?
Oh, we did meet one guy. He was an arse to us.
Yeah.
I had written it down, actually.
But do you know who controls the armies in Wicthra and Marenta? Like, who's the actual person controlling that army? Who's the person that was defending Bridgegate when Scoria came and burned it to the ground?
Yeah, no, we don't know that. We're not really involved in those decisions, are we?
Why? Why have you never... I mean, ostensibly, it was so that you guys could be kept a secret weapon for later in the war, right? But is that really the reason why you were kept out of all the decision-making?
Well, on one hand, I would say, you know, we had enough on our plate without having to worry about organizing soldiers. But then we've been kind of disrespected by the generals when we've spoken to them, so maybe there's more to it. Maybe it is a case of like they only, you know, maybe they see us as powerful, yes, but only because of our items, not because of who we are ourselves, and therefore, like, our minds when it comes to planning strategy aren't really of value.
You're a nice tool to be deployed, but you're not a person to be consulted about what should be done.
We're not a player in the game. We're just a weapon.
What about you, Tyrael? Did you ever feel like you were a tool being used by the kingdom?
Yeah, I think that was a huge fear for a long time until we had that talk with the queen in the hot tub beneath the whatever room.
The queen of Drekis, the greatest monarch in the land, when she gave you this quest, that, you know, to slay this dragon and to find all these items, she gave you some tools to help you along your way. One of those tools was a get out of jail free card. Do you remember that? She was offering you one time where if you made a mess of things, that she would pull you out, but only one time if you, like, you know, angered a noble. Why'd she give you one get out of jail free card? Isn't she the fucking queen? Aren't you on the most important mission of all? Why one?
Am I logic braining this or am I emotional braining this? Or is
You know,
it...
little column A, little column B? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel.
I think it makes sense that the Queen only gave us one. It's not like she could excuse us from infinite wrongdoing. But I think that... Yeah, I think that would be the feeling there. I think Tyrael's
you trust
mind...
that decision, then?
No. I think Tyrael's mind towards the Monarch initially was one of... initially it was happiness to be recruited into such a mission, and even a little bit of honor, maybe. And then I think over time, I think that changed into some sort of paranoia or fear, especially with the dreams in Glacia kind of like playing into that. And then I think after the conversation with the Queen, I think that there was that bond of trust was renewed a bit, although Anton kind of fed negatively into the idea that there could have been some trap. Mm-hmm. But I think now, after everything that's happened over the past few weeks, especially with the possible death of Anton, I think now the feeling has turned to that of contempt, to where I don't think Tyrael necessarily views them as plotters or schemers that would do something like killing them. I think now, rather, he feels that they're just a bit inadequate or ill-equipped. Yeah, I think
like
that's kind
ambition.
of... Yeah, or not even like ambition, but are just kind of like silly or dumb.
Got it. So when the Dragon Slayers, the greatest power in the land, wanted to build a castle, the crown not offering you any money to help you build it or any manpower to help you build it was just them being inept, right?
Yeah, but it's because we've built and done everything on our own. So the idea that you can expect them to be able to help is foolish in and of itself. Tyrael actually has a level of disgust almost for himself. One of the most shameful missions that he thinks he ever embarked on was when he was in that room full of with some commanders, maybe a general and the Queen, and they spoke about that the weird movements happening north of, was it Bontheris on the eastern shore? Tyrael almost leapt like a dog to prove his capability to go out, figure out what was going on, and then clear everything up. But that mission was such a cakewalk for him. I think he was done with everything in a day, that on his way back, it felt like so stupid and worthless. Like he was working so hard to get the respect and admiration of people so far beneath him. So that's been his thought process, especially as he's come through here. They've slain a worm. They've traveled through more planes than potentially any other living human in existence, maybe at this point. Not sure, he wouldn't know. He doesn't have the magical background. They've slain multiple dragons at this point. They've befriended dragons. They've made deals with dragons. They've had enemies that are dragons. They've given a dragon a single piece of mithril and told it to fuck off from the land. And now they have a dragon servant for the remainder of their lives. Yeah, I think now he just starts to view a lot of these people with contempt.
Do either of you feel... Well, we heard a little bit about Imric. Tyrael, how do you regard or consider the fact that you were kept out of all conversations about real power in the land, and kept out of positions of advisory for what was happening, relegated to the shadows?
I think that's one feeling that he can't even emotionally have, because Queen did seem to make a lot of concessions to satiate his desire for control, because I think Tyrael was promised Mystria, or was it the land to the east? Was it?
No, it was Mystria.
It was Mystria. We did get our keep, and he was He's betrothed to the Queen's daughter.
She only just recently offered you Mystria, right? That wasn't on the table from the beginning. That was something after you came back from Glacia. I'm talking about the 90%
that's
or
true,
80% of your adventures.
I think Tyrael...
You were...
But I don't think that was the fault of the Queen. I think that's because Tyrael saw himself in the past as weak too. He was a rogue that was trying to restore the honor of his family, that was trying to win respect in the eyes of his kingdom. He's not anymore, but he was haunted for a long time by that memory of walking in the street with that stupid girl that gave us all flowers to symbolize us not participating in the war. But now when he looks back, now he sees that look at how easy it was to get an arranged marriage with the Queen's daughter. Look at how easy it was to get to be the King of Mystria. All of it is there for the taking. We just have to be ambitious enough to reach for it. And in the past, we weren't. We were children of the Megari name and children of the kingdom. But now as we come into our own, we can see that there's so much more there if we're just willing to reach for it. And we've never been stopped by the maliciousness of others, only by our own ineptitude and lack of ambition in the face of their selfish ambitions.
And Anton, during all this period of working with the Queen, Anton had been a very vocal voice that, fuck the monarchy. These people are... He was very negative about them. What was Anton's position, Imric, towards all these?
He just didn't trust them. And he maybe had some of that selfish ambition that Cyril's talking about there. Like, I think he maybe looked at the three of us and saw what we would become and what we were becoming, and realized that what Cyril's explained, that it is all ours for the taking, and that the structures that exist, if we are in a bad place to start because of the circumstances of our birth, we've overcome that. But the Queen, she's only where she is because of the circumstances of her birth. There's no real strength to her. There's no real talent necessarily to her. And I think Anton kind of just saw through that. He's never got on that well with other people. He's probably, Imric's kind of a social person. He's got empathy. He sees things from other people's point of view. He tries to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think Anton's the exact opposite of that. So he sees through the bullshit quite easily. He's not easily taken in by friendly words and well-meaning gestures. He kind of just sees through that and saw it as weak and as platitudes, and that he kind of, I don't know, he seemed angry about it a lot. But I think from Imric's point of view, what he was arguing for, I think Imric saw it as you'll destroy the kingdom, everything we'll have worked for will be lost, because it doesn't matter if we kill Scoria, if there's a huge civil war.
Okay. And last question here for Tyrael. How did Anton help shape your distrust for people? And secondly, after that, how much of that was Anton and how much of that was his amulet?
Well, it's impossible to know how much was the amulet. In terms of the corruption of the mind from the amulet of weapons, that's something that we're always paranoid about, but out of character, I would imagine that the way that these things corrupt you is in a very subtle manner, where it probably makes some things more apparent and other things less apparent, or makes you more paranoid about some things and other things, rather than an evil presence in your mind. So, being with Anton, I think that Anton has become pretty inspirational in terms of somebody that wanted power, found a deity, and then started grabbing a lot of power. Now he's working on some weird multi-continental religious cult thing that he seems to be fairly successful with. He's probably changed the most out of any of the three of us in terms of the power that he was going after and the power that he's achieved, and the influence that he's starting to spread. So I think that Anton has probably been I guess we'd say a negative inspiration to Tyrael in terms of going down that path of being more self-serving and less for the kingdom.
Yeah. Okay. We come near the end of the rift here, and we're looking to the future.
So are we walking through this and looking to our left and right and just seeing memories play out?
It's more of you happen to be in a room, right? You were in the room when you were sitting by the cozy fireside with your father. You're in the room when the Queen is telling everyone, well, now that they've finished off their use, we'll hold a meeting down in the hot springs, and you kill him once he's naked and defenseless in the pool. We're visiting these moments, and now we're looking sort of to the future. And this is more of a projection, not a thing that ever has happened. And I'm just going to ask back and forth some questions. Imric, broadly speaking, what are you going to do when you get home? When you get
I want to get home right now.
When you get Anton and you get back to Drekis, what does the future hold for you?
I think we go and kill Scoria at that point. I think, kind of learned a bit of a lesson that maybe going to kill that green dragon was a little bit of a vanity project in a way. And we kind of risked too much, so stop messing around, get the job done. And honestly, I'm not sure what the future looks like for Imric after that.
It's good. It's Tyrael. Scoria in particular. What are you going to do? What's your plan?
I think that Scoria represents something very positive for Tyrael. To borrow a quote from Littlefinger, chaos is a ladder. I think that the chaos that Scoria kind of thrust our kingdom into has allowed for Tyrael and the family to achieve far more power than they ever would have anyway. And in any area that we insert ourselves that has become increasingly chaotic, we have the ability to grab more and more power and build more and more relationships than we ever could have before. Whether that's talking to the insufferable losers on Nome, whether that's in exploring tons of different artifacts or tons of different areas and islands we would have never traveled to, whether that's having a one-on-one conversation with like the matriarchal queen of an expressly anti-male society and making deals with her, walking in and out like it's nothing. Like, we've been able to extend our influence and have conversations and build bridges with people all across the world only because of the state of chaos that the world is in. So if Tyrael wants to slay Scoria, it's only going to be after all of his like ducks are in a line and he feels like he's set up everything and established everything for himself that he needs to. Because once Scoria falls, then the powers that be are going to grab everything up they can for themselves, and the brothers are going to be in a much worse negotiating position. But as it stands right now, this is probably the moment before Scoria dies will probably be the most leverage the brothers have over the kingdom. And once Scoria falls, that leverage disappears completely, and then it's just their ambitions against everybody else's.
Well, in theory, once it's all over and done, you're going to be king of Mystria. But in the meantime, Mystria is your enemy. Every Mystrian warrior is going to do whatever they can to stop you from overrunning their country. A country you're going to have to rule if you can subjugate it. So, Tyrael, what are you going to do about Mystria? Up to killing Scoria, and then after Scoria?
Mystria is going to run like a stopwatch. That's an anachronism because stopwatches don't exist yet, but it will run well. Tyrael is a hands-on leader. If there are people that are disrespectful or rude, he's done it before. He heard his name being thrown around negatively in a bar before. He went in, he found the girl speaking negatively. He hunted her down in that bar, chased her out afterwards when she was mad because we'd stolen the cloak of Cheetah from her family. So if Tyrael hears his name being thrown around, he can travel at high speeds across the kingdom, and he will put down people that speak negatively of the Megari name. They will
if
bend
there are
the knee.
rebellions,
Yeah,
you're
there won't
ready
be rebellions. There will be talks of rebellions, and that's as far as they'll ever go.
And before then, before Mystria is fully yours, you're going to have to march across that land at some point and deal with the armies and the defenses and the castles and the spellcasters. How are you going to handle that?
Have we ever intersected with pirates a lot? I don't know if we have, but I'm sure we'd have heard. There's like a pirate's code. There'll be a deal made there that anybody that throws down their swords and allows us to march through, will be dealt with fairly, as they will be future subjects of my kingdom. But if they do resist and they do fight, then they will find themselves buried in the same tomb that Scoria will be buried in.
Excellent. Imric. Speaking of the future, Drekis. What future does Drekis have in mind for you? Tyrael's being given a kingdom.
Yeah.
What is your reward? Where are you going after all of this is done?
I don't think Imric has a reward. It's not even been talked about. I think that once this is all over, Imric's going to have to deal with everything that's just happened to him. And the person he's become. There's been moments of it, when he's been... I think we explored it when I did the solo episode when I went to the airship, but he doesn't really have any friends anymore. He can't really relate to any of the people that he used to know. His former life is completely gone. And like both Tyrael and Anton have a calling once this is all over. So Tyrael has to be king. Anton has to go to Solemn, or at the very least has to be a religious leader. Whereas what is Imric? He's just a wizard. I guess he'll probably start off by trying to help Tyrael secure power in Mystria. But once that's said and done, I think he's a little bit aimless. I'm not sure what he'll do. Maybe he'll find some great mystery to try and devote himself to.
Okay. What do you think Drekis is going to do to your family?
I think
they're
that
just gonna promote you and it'll be all good.
I expect it'll be all good. Yeah, I mean, Tyrael will be a king at that point, so I don't think that they'll. I think that our family will be well looked after, and I think everything that we've done up to this point means that any children that, well, I'm probably not going to have any children, but Tyrael's children, Anton's children, will be in strong positions politically and wealth.
Oof, are we? The dragon armor that's being crafted, is that happening at our keep, or is that still happening in the capital?
What's happening in the capital? Your keep is a construction zone. It's a terrible place to make armor.
Okay, just checking. Because we'll be controlling the mithril mines in Mystria.
Yes.
We have that dragon scale armor. I mean, we can bring back some dragon bodies and continue to make dragon scale armor for my kingdom. We also still own that. We have a magical anvil that we got from Glacia that allows us to craft magical items as well. So,
Imric's on the verge of being able to make magical items, actually.
Okay.
So with that anvil, maybe he can do a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Read this word. All right, Tyrael. Here's a dark question for you. How is the queen, the kingdom, how is all of Arcadia going to expect to keep you around after this? You're going to be the single most powerful person out here with your brothers at your back and a dragon with you. The only way that people are able to exert any sort of force over you at this point, any sort of authority over you at this point, is based on your goodwill and your desire for temperament. How is it possible for the queen to be the empress of Arcadia just by your goodwill? Is that even possible?
Well, it's going to depend on how we negotiate mystery, I suppose, huh? Are we going to be an independent kingdom on our own, or are we going to be subjugated by the queen? Are we going to be a province?
No, she's the empress. You're just one of the kingdoms under her thrall. You bend the knee to her, and your people bend the knee to you.
Well, we don't know that yet. That might change.
Well,
Maybe that's not going to be the case. Who knows?
Well, there's also scales of empire, right? Like,
no.
You know, how much tax does he have to pay? It
No.
could just be a
it's
name
either
thing.
I'm a subject of hers or not. That's the...
Yeah, but there's like, you know, you pay half the taxes to the empress, or there's you pay no taxes, but once a year you go and bend the knee.
Well,
And
maybe.
then go back.
Or maybe Mystery is its own independent kingdom again.
Yeah,
And if Mystria is its own independent kingdom, now with a gold dragon instead of a red, and with a competent magic-endowed king instead of whoever the fuck this King Gilder dude is.
King Gilder, the loser?
How is this a sustainable situation for the monarchy of Drekis and the armies of Drekis and the nobles and the generals and all the people who have been gathering power for these years? How can they live with that? An even more powerful Mystria than when they started the war. How could they end up in that situation?
Well, it would be really easy, because once we are controlling Mystria, we sue for peace immediately, and we demand our own independence. Drekis won't have the will to fight, because they're not going to want to do another war, now without Dragon Slayers, and against an even stronger dragon. So it'll be easy. We sue for peace. We probably take a little bit of land, because our keep that we built along the southern part of the ridge, we'll probably want that to be incorporated in Mystria, and then everything will be cool and chill. Yeah, but we'll probably be our own.
And you think they're just going to expect you to fall in line and you'll negotiate and it'll be fine? You honestly think that that's the ending, that these negotiations you've had with these people are really going to be like, yeah, now we've just created an even more powerful kingdom that we've given away to somebody else. Now it's ruled by a different dragon and they're so powerful and we'll negotiate.
I don't think they have any other choice. What are they going to do? Tell their people that we're about to enter a second war against another dragon?
Haven't you seen? Didn't you see in Glacia what they're gonna do?
They can't kill us. They're not going to. They're not competent enough to kill us.
If you are naked and locked in a room with none of your gear,
why would I ever be
if
naked?
If they try that, then that's the end of Valoria Wick
poison
and
you. There are a
Drekis.
lot of ways to kill someone. Poisoned wine at a dinner, spells while you're asleep. You know, burning your house down while you're unconscious. There are a lot of ways to get to you. They've got money. They've got power. You've got servants who have seen the queen and the people of...
Okay, the money they have is on loan.
The
The money they have is on loan from us, okay? The only money that... Like, I don't know if they finished looting that green dragon slayer yet that we slain, but that was supposed to be riches beyond whatever, because he had no fucking magical items, so it better be a lot of riches in there. So...
Huge amounts of gold,
so
yes.
we've got lots of that taken
Won't
care
take.
of. We'll be running the mithril mines, so we have exclusive control over that, and those mines are going to run way better than they did before, okay? They're just... Yeah, I mean, like, the queen stayed alive this entire time with multiple dragons breathing down her neck. I'm sure it would be a trivial feat for the Megaries. We've got a lot of enemies out there as well.
Okay. And what about Anton? What's his place in the future? Do you know about his plan to leave?
He's mentioned it in passing, hasn't he?
I don't
Never
think he
in
ever
detail.
has. Or maybe he's mentioned in the future he has to, because I think if he would have said explicitly, like, I'm leaving right after this to go to Solemn, I feel like...
Yeah, I don't think he's not said that. I think he said that he might have religious duties in Solemn once it's all over.
What's his role in your future?
Well, if we're to avoid a civil war, then... You know, I think that if me and Tyrael are thinking like this, once we find Anton, it's going to be very hard to avoid that path of paranoia.
Well, Tyrael doesn't care about Anton. Tyrael barely cares about Imric. Now Tyrael only cares about himself, okay? McGarry name doesn't matter. The kingdom is bullshit. One thing that Tyrael has observed is that Imric has become a powerful wizard in his own right. So serving as his archmage or some kind of important figure in his kingdom is important, but he doesn't know as much about Anton. Anton could have a purpose there or not, but he also sees Anton as a potential tool to disrupt the kingdom of Drekis as well. He's got a lot of weird shit going on down there. Maybe he could be useful, maybe not, but...
And Imric, you're a good servant. You would serve Tyrael in his kingdom, right? You would do his bidding, guard his magic?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, for now, it's just like, you know, someone as powerful as Imric, it's dangerous to keep them at a loose end. If I was Tyrael, I'd want to make sure that he always had something to do and something to keep his mind focused because, you know, the devil makes work for idle thumbs.
Right. Tyrael's smart enough to realize that.
Yeah, I think so.
And we are brothers. Yeah. It's not, like, totally...
No, that's true. I think, you know, I mean, Imric's lost a lot of his goodwill recently, but I think he still holds a lot of goodwill for Tyrael and Anton.
Yeah, and I think we've built a lot together here, especially killing the fireworm, jumping back into the room to take a few strikes at bordering on death, tossing his frostblade to Imric, trusting him to land the final blows as he runs from the room. Probably with no ability to get back. I don't know at all, maybe, without Imric
there was a lot of trust there that Tyrael put in Imric, maybe for one of the first times. You know, I don't think that Tyrael's necessarily put everything on the line. Like, Imric, you have to do this and this has to work out or we're all screwed. Yeah. I think there's always kind of been a, you know, a secondary plan, or Tyrael's been the one in charge and I've just been helping.
Okay.
But that was all me.
So in summation, what are you going to do when you get back to Arcadia?
Kill Scoria. After that, I'm going to ask Tyrael what he needs, and once that runs out, I think Imric's probably a little bit scared of what happens after that.
The future is open. Yeah. Tyrael, in summation, what are you going to do when you get back?
Tyrael, you know, Scoria's there, but Tyrael wants to secure as much power as possible for his house.
You're going to take your time.
So the first thing to do is going to be securing that horde from the Green Dragon Slayer that they killed, assuming that hasn't been secured yet, but that's the most important thing. I think we still have that mithril thing. That's in our possession.
Yeah,
right?
we've got that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. We're gonna take a break, and we'll come back on the other side with a little more Tombs of Scoria.
We'll be back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tombs of Scoria.
Hello,
Anton. You are in a void, an empty, black nothingness of space.
When he looks around, what does he have anymore?
You can feel your clothing. You can feel your armor is on you. Your amulet of Elthara is with you. Your cloak of plenty
of Rohana is in my hand.
One spear is in your hand. Yes, your other
one's in the amulet.
Did you put it in the amulet, or is it gone?
I assume if I'm about to take a thing out, I can't hold two spears. I'm not just going to drop it in the water.
I mean, you're in an emergency situation where you're dying.
It takes a millisecond to put it in the amulet.
Maybe. It might be there. It might not be.
Boom.
We'll see later.
We'll look at that.
Yeah, we'll look at that a little bit later. You have messaged me with a few questions.
Yeah, I did. I don't remember what they were.
Well, why don't we check our DMs, the stream appropriate ones, and sort out
I got them.
What sort of questions you have about where you are and what you're experiencing.
How long do I feel like I've been in here?
You ever done that thing where you wake up in the morning and you open one eye and you look at the clock and it says 6:30? You're like, oh, thank God. And then you close your eyes again. And then a few seconds later, you open up to double check and it's now 8 o'clock. It's that sort of, you feel like the time hasn't been all that long, but you're also really warpy on it. there's no warmth or cold here. It's almost like being in a womb. It's sort of cozy but empty, and you're not really fully aware of your senses or your presence. So hard to tell. Probably a while.
Has do I feel any connection to my god, or has Velthara reached out at all in the time that I've been here?
She is sort of present. You don't feel like the connection between you is severed, but she's not reached out to you. She's not come to help you. At least not in the
Anton
beginning.
will
There's lots
reach
of
out to
time
her.
here.
He'll drink from his. Well, hold on. He will first off, because I assume this is when he just gets here. He'll take his rings and he's going to swap them around. He's going to put on his ring of sustenance.
That'll preserve you for a week at a time or something like that.
Yeah, and he's going to take off his ring of protection.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll move that on another hand. He's going to be able to eat and drink through his cloak of plenty. So he'll put that on and he'll start eating, drinking, and sleeping, I guess, in his cloak of plenty for the time being until he reaches out.
What spells did you have memorized for when you arrived?
I have Cure Light Wounds, Cure Moderate Wounds. I have a Nap, a Bless, Withdraw, Recitation, Unfailing Endurance, Prayer, Etherealness, Dispel Magic, and Choose Future.
Well, do you want to cast any of those? Can you cast any of those?
He'll try to cast his healing spells.
Yeah, they will resolve with no changes whatsoever.
Okay. I'm going to heal for 2d10 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will heal for 10.
It's
So I'm
not
up to
terrible.
24. No.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll do another healing of 2d8. Casting 2 Cure Light Wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Back to
Nice.
extra 9. Cool. He'll try to nap himself.
Yeah, you sleep for some amount of time. But when you come back from your nap, you honestly don't feel like you can connect to spells. Yeah, you can pray, and it's like you're far away and your voice is echoing, and like she can kind of hear you, but it's too distant for her to hear your prayers proper and imbue you with the spells you want.
He will pray and ask Velthara if she's forsaken him.
It's that same sort of distance, like you're shouting down a pipe, and you get the impression she probably can't even hear you properly.
I don't think he gets that impression. I think he feels more abandoned. She's a god. If she wanted to, she could move heaven and earth to save him. She's currently choosing not to, is his kind of assumption.
But didn't all the gods give up on resurrection?
Wouldn't really be resurrection now, would it? He's
I mean,
not dead.
if your soul is on the plane of spirits, it's not really, and they bring it back to Earth. Like, how is this?
It's not resurrection.
But
I
at
guess,
the point
yeah.
where we're talking about multidimensional beings that have spiritual essence and physical essence, and they get separated and moved around to different planes, like, isn't resurrection really just, moving the right parts of people through the planes?
He'll pause at this, and he'll probably just feel abandoned. Sometimes facts don't care about feelings, so
That's
his
true.
feelings are... He feels abandoned. He hopes that maybe she's helping his family come and get him. And I think that he just stews for a time. He thinks about what he'd like to go back and do. He thinks about the memories of his brothers and what brought him happiness. The big thing that he wants... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I've got some pointed questions on this. 1 in 10 people, roughly, is the general knowledge, in theory, could become magically endowed. Some of those could be clerics, some of those could be wizards. You were gifted enough to possibly become a cleric, and you chose to follow Velthara. Why? Why did Anton, and when did Anton choose to become a cleric of Velthara, of all the gods?
I believe Anton started praying from like an early age to Velthara for vengeance upon his dad. After
Why?
what I believe that his dad burned him is the canon lore. So yeah, that's when he started praying and whatnot.
So you
And
came
then
to
he
her.
went to Then he went to cleric school, stuck with her, and he's been there since.
I see. How has she helped you become? How has she helped you in your life?
She's definitely given him unfathomable powers. Being able to get +6 to hit is huge. Spells to heal his friends, heal himself, heal his brothers. Awesome, amazing. She's given him guidance in many ways.
Never spells to heal your face, though. That's
No.
forever scarred.
I believe that is not in her spell list to give him. Yeah.
How has she supported you outside of granting you direct power? Have you ever felt supported by your deity?
I think so. She's given him like a higher purpose, rather than being Tyrael or Imric, who are kind of just doing it for the kingdom. He feels like he's doing it for others, for the world. I feel like he has felt a good amount of support from his deity. Yeah.
Okay. Aside from your face being pushed into the fire, what have been some of the formative moments between you and Velthara over the years?
One of the big ones was when she teleported him specifically to her, and he, I believe, got to see her celestial form. I think that was
this.
This was
Let's
when
give us-
Imric and they were all teleporting back from, I think, killing a dragon, and during that, she grabbed him and pulled him there.
She plucked you out mid teleport to have a
chat.
moment.
Yeah, which he'll think about that, and that'll further reinforce that she could get him if she wanted. She was able to get him through that teleport. Why can't she do it right now? He's calling out for her help. Obviously, his brothers need him. His kingdom needs him. She had plans for him, but what happened?
Yeah. What has Velthara asked of you? Has she ever asked anything from you?
Yeah, she asked for pretty much everything.
What did she ask, though? Really?
Anton's favorite, his most valuable thing in his world right now is his brothers. So much so that he's even had thoughts of swapping to be with Sayor, I think. Who's the
What's the god of
Reluna?
crafting?
What's the god of home in the
Passion
family?
is Reluna. Home in the family is Madrigal. No.
No, that's Hope.
Um.
Hearth, home, family.
Nerul.
Nerul. Yeah, he's had thoughts of swapping it to Nerul, but he's so far down the rabbit hole that it kind of went away for a bit. But she's asked everything of him. She asked him to move to Solemn, throw down his titles, never see his family again, and go and live there.
That's one ask, but what did you get in exchange for that? That was a big power trade, if I recall.
I remember getting... What did I get for the charisma that I gave up? I don't remember. I mean, I got spells. I got the power to track Scoria. But that was more through the amulet. I think I got that before anything. Oh, I got the Ion Stone location for that, I think.
For the charisma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's asked a few things of you. She's asked for some of your charisma, and she's asked you
That was
to...
given.
Okay. But so she asked you to be her cleric in a different land once all the vengeance has been had here in Arcadia?
It sounded like that, but it was I guess Anton took it more of, you are never going to ever see your family again. You are never going to venture back to Arcadia. You are going to Solemn, and you're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he took it.
Yeah, yeah. Has Velthara ever betrayed you
He feels betrayed currently.
right now?
But before that, I don't think so, no. Well, she wouldn't let him use his spells on creating crops, but that's not really a betrayal. That was just more of a thing. But yeah, no, I don't think he's ever felt betrayed before, no.
Okay.
He's just
Would
felt
you
trapped, I would say.
Tell me more about that.
He feels trapped in his current situation, and he can't get out because she's the goddess of vengeance, and if he says, hey, I want to stick with my family and stay with them, I don't think that's going to fly too well.
Yeah, I mean, you made lifelong oaths to get here. You
Yeah.
can't really renege on those, can you?
No.
Yeah. Are you who you are today because of Velthara, or are you your own person and she is just like, helped out a little?
I think he's who he is because of the path he's walking. I think that she's definitely shaped him in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What would you say the greatest thing you've ever done for Velthara has been? What is your best moment as a servant of the goddess of vengeance?
The greatest thing is yet to come, but I believe I mean, the big one is getting Scoria down, which is coming up.
Sure.
Other
But
than
before
that,
what have you done for her to earn these powers? What have you actually already done, not just promised in the
been
future?
a bit. Maybe killing the blue dragon. Maybe he didn't get vengeance for those people. Been 80 episodes, Koibu. It's been a long time.
I know.
He hasn't
There's
done
been a lot.
Oh, he killed his dad. I guess that was vengeance more for him than her.
Yeah.
He hasn't done a ton for Velthara, if I recall. He did save the gnomes. He gave the gnomes vengeance. That's true. Halflings.
The gnomes and the halflings and their local vengeances
But
are
these
the
were
greatest.
all like... These were all just on the way. So it wasn't him going out of his way to do great vengeance. I guess the thing that he's done for her is probably set up the cult within Wicthron Berenthra and all of like the clerics that he's put in these strategic places to further the Velthara name. Yeah, that's probably the big one.
That's true. You've created priests and clerics to spread her influence throughout the land.
Yep.
Made the land much more vengeful.
Good.
Do you think Velthara needs you?
I would say that no deity needs any single cleric. So I would say no.
Does she own you?
No, she does not own Anton.
But can you say no to her if she makes a request?
He can. I don't
Really?
think that she would. I don't think that she would just smite him down instantly if he ever said no. I think she would find it more fun to rise up another cleric to go and deal with Anton, or send another cleric, or even her paladin, if she has one, to go and deal with Anton.
Yeah, the gods don't really so much smite people out of the clear blue sky. They usually work through their servants, or maybe can manipulate weather events, or do things in the background. It's been since the gods walked the earth that they have very directly smitten people with their own hand. It's been a long time. So you think that you can
He would
say
lose
no to her?
Yeah, he would lose all of his spells, guaranteed. He would probably lose the amulet. He might even lose his new weapon, his new spear. But push comes to shove, I do believe that Anton can say no. Yeah.
I see.
It would be for great loss, though.
This amulet, this artifact of Velthara, this, it is her divine piece of equipment in this world. You wear it around your neck. Does that give her a way to affect you more directly? I mean, it's through this amulet that you channel that +6 to hit and all of these other powers. Does that give her a way to like circumvent the lack of ability to smite and just snuff your existence out if you're wearing it?
I don't think Anton knows the question to that. I have no idea. If he was to go away from Velthara, I guarantee the first action would be to take it off and probably to destroy the artifact.
Well, these are some thoughts that might pass through Anton's head while he's floating here in this void. You had said some other things, other actions you might want to take, or questions you want to give, or what else?
I guess like Anton's just thinking about what he's gonna do when he gets back, and like who he wants to deal with, because he's kind of just figuring out how easy it is for him to be there for a second and then instantly gone. I guess he's struggling a little bit here with death, and he's thinking about the things that mean most to him and what he wants to live for. And I think that he wants to stay with his family, so he might barter with Velthara and see what she says. Another thing that he really wants to do is kill those fucking clerics in the capital. The Nadinus one and the Martha one have time and time again stood in his path and his family's path, and he wants to deal with them because he might be struggling with Velthara right now and his faith, but he does believe in vengeance, and he believes genuinely that those people deserve nothing.
But they deserve something. Like what?
Well, they deserve
nothing.
Death. They deserve death. Yeah. Nothing but death.
Well, all these thoughts and more pass by you in the blink of an eye, and you sit here in this void for a while. I think you might be able to pass time by counting how many times you pull those short ribs out of your cloak of plenty and munch them down.
Yeah.
There are a lot of short ribs.
Is he like floating around? Like if he throws a short rib, does he just stay in one spot, or does he float away from the short rib?
Well, you can't see. There's no light. When you pull out the short rib, you can feel it in your hand.
If I pull out a light stone, can I see?
No, you pull out the light stone and you pull out a rock.
Well, let me see if I have a light stone, sorry.
Yeah, wouldn't that be in your bag that ripped open and
he had him on his pants. He does have a light stone. He has like a little pocket, and he pulls it out of there. So yeah, he does have a light stone. He pulls it out.
Yeah, there is no light shed by this. It is void and dark. Or you're blind. One of the two.
He'll probably struggle with that, yeah. He feels his eyes.
They're
there?
Still there. They're still intact, yeah. Anton, what is it? You're just floating here. Your goddess isn't coming for you. It's been an age.
How long do I feel like it's been
purpose?
if I start counting the bones? Or not like counting the bones, but like thinking of like how many times I pulled it out. Has it been like weeks?
You've probably eaten short ribs like 40 times, 50 times by the time we're having this conversation.
Jesus. I don't know. I feel like he starts one day as a panic attack. He probably considers like suicide at some point. Maybe it'd be better. But I think that he does have a bit of the faith that his brothers are going to come for him. He doesn't want to believe that they abandoned him.
Where are you, though? If you don't know where you are, how will they know where they are? Okay.
They're resourceful. Imric is a wizard. They have the wizard airship, is what he tells himself. He's sure he'll be found.
They're gonna come for you. That's
his hope
brothers
currently.
That don't believe the queen is a monster, who are here to protect the kingdom and crown and kill Scoria.
He says he'll give it 100 days. And then
100 days.
Yeah. He reaches out to Velthara and just asks for a sign, any sign. that she still cares about him or that his brothers are coming. He needs hope, or nothing.
Nothing. No hope here. Just endless floating. Let's just get a couple of other Anton reflection moments since the other players got theirs. What would you say Anton's fond memories of his early days were like? Does he have any, actually?
His fond memories, weirdly enough, are probably playing with a rat.
That's
like
right.
Playing with either rats or, some small animals. Imric's fond memory of Anton was him protecting him from bullying. Tyrael's was playing around with Anton and letting him forget about the mask, but Anton's was being alone with his little rat.
Well, you're alone here.
He thinks back to Temmie's, how he abandoned him.
Oh.
Eventually, he just became of not use, and Anton had to give it up. He was being called the weird rat boy. The rat wasn't being useful anymore, so he let him go.
How is that any different than Velthara leaving you here because you weren't useful anymore and you got sucked into a void and, lost to the abyss somewhere? Aren't you just the Temmies of Velthara?
He struggles with that, yeah. He thinks that he was wrong for how he treated Temmies, and obviously in this situation, he assumes, Velthara is currently actively not helping him.
Yeah. What about your purpose over these last few years defending Drekis? What has been your driving purpose through this time? The core thing that has pushed you forward?
To kill Scoria, to get vengeance for all the people, but also to help Tyrael in any way that he needed. So he was originally pushing for Tyrael to be king because he thought Tyrael to be the greatest ruler. And I think that he eventually came off that when Tyrael didn't want to be king of Drekis or of anything, really. Now Tyrael's interested in being king of Mystria, so Anton's happy, but he's also sad because he's not going to be there to see it. He has a place to be, and it's not.
I noticed when you talked about getting vengeance for Scoria, it was sort of like for all the people. Which people? We never really talk about that. Which people has Scoria wronged?
Anton's talked to multiple people now in the city streets. He spent hours out there, if not a whole entire day, talking to each individual person who came and told him how Scoria negatively impacted their life, how they killed one of their sons, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, but that was well after the fact. When you first started on this mission to kill Scoria, you didn't have those conversations, and Scoria was just ruling over Mystria. Who really did Scoria wrong that put you on this quest?
Wasn't it something with Velthara, Scoria was making it too stagnant, or I don't 100% remember.
Yeah, no, it does feel distant and vague at this point, doesn't it? In fact, when I asked you about these things, you talk more about your family and your love of family than about your vengeance needs. And earlier you mentioned that you thought about maybe becoming a cleric of Nerul, goddess of family, the home, the hearth, protection.
He had considered that, but he pretty much banished it away from his mind when he realized that the best way he can protect his family is by probably following what Velthara wants and just getting him out of there. Yeah. Otherwise, it won't be good for them.
Yeah, she would probably seek vengeance on you through your family because she knows you love them so much.
Yeah.
That's probably her path of vengeance if you betray her.
But he's having another thought of, he'll see how this works out, but anytime they've ever attempted something, all three of them, as long as they stuck together, they could get through it. So maybe he'll talk to Tyrael and Imric and see what they say about his future mission. They should be able to get through that, That's what he thinks. He believes they're coming for him as well.
Do you have regrets about choosing Velthara as your goddess instead of Nerul? You had mentioned her as someone that you might want to go to, and you always talk about your family and how important they are. Do you think you picked the wrong deity all those years ago?
I don't think Anton realized how important family was until he went on this quest, when he was already a vengeance cleric. In hindsight, he could feel like he's picked the wrong deity, yeah. But
at the time, there was no way to know.
Yeah. Also, Nerul probably didn't have Cure Light Wounds on their spell list, so.
Back to that's the real reason that you picked Velthara, right?
It was heavily influenced by the spell list, yes.
Yeah, it was.
If I could go back and pick the best spell list, it would have been Terrassa. She had actually the better spell list, but
nice.
It's alright.
Back to the kingdom and the war. You have been the most vocal proponent of the dangers that wait for you at home, of the kingdom, the queen, and the threats that are there. You've long been the proponent for killing the queen.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like those?
I don't think Anton was ever the proponent of killing the queen. I think Anton was more the proponent of not getting fucked over by the crown. He was afraid that the crown would seek vengeance on them for something they haven't even considered or done. I think that was his biggest fear, is that the crown is going to realize they're not useful after Scoria, or that they're too powerful after Scoria, and then kill the brothers. That was his greatest fear, yeah. Anton will pause it. He'll think about it, like, what happens if he does go away from Velthara? He thinks about, like, when is the best time to do it? Should I do it after Scoria? Can she read my mind? Like, can she tell my true intentions? And I think all of this is mostly, like, wishful thinking. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, and then I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna talk to Emmerich, I'm gonna talk to Tyrael, and us three together, we can figure it out.
You know, the more powerful of a cleric you are, both via your wisdom stat and via your actual class level, the stronger your connection to your deity. A low-level cleric, first-level cleric with 9 wisdom, the worst cleric you can possibly build, has a pretty weak connection to their god. It's just strong enough to get, like, one first-level spell that has a chance of failure attached to it.
Mm.
But you are the most powerful cleric in this land. And what is your wisdom?
18 from Circlet of Wisdom. He was originally, I think, a 14 wisdom cleric.
So you've got a pretty strong connection to your deity, don't you? It is. I mean, you are channeling spells that only clerics have wet dreams about. What is your? You can cast 6th level spells, is it?
Almost 7th level, but yeah, currently cast 6th level. I can cast 7th level with Uplift.
That's pretty amazing. That's a
It is
pretty powerful cleric that you are. You think that she can maybe... I mean, that's a bi-directional connection, right? Because you ask for spells and she gives them to you, and that means it's got to flow both ways on some level.
Probably, yeah. I think Anton is having a big crisis of faith, and he's going to have to see how this interacts with his spellcasting ability afterwards. It is very telling to him. He feels like that Velthara wouldn't... He just thinks it's like such an easy thing to do. She snaps her fingers, and he just appears back on Drekus.
Mm-hmm. She's a goddess, right?
There's nothing... Yeah, his feeble mind is saying, this is the easiest thing that she could possibly do. He's seen her do it before. Why isn't she doing it now? So he's pissed off. He is thinking about Nerul and how, he loves his family and wants to be with them. So, yeah. He thinks that he made the wrong choice, yeah.
No, wrong. Which wrong choice?
He believes that in retrospect, if he could go back, he realizes now how important family is, and that he made the wrong deity choice. but he probably only realized that because of his quest for vengeance against Scoria.
Got it. At least you got vengeance on your father, right?
That was pretty sweet, yeah.
That was pretty good. She did help you out there.
She did.
Back to family and kingdom and whatnot. Did Anton ever feel like a tool of the kingdom, like a blunt instrument?
I don't think so. Anton never really concerned himself too much with the kingdom. I think his plans were bigger.
Are we live?
I think. Steve, are we live? We're good. Hold on.
Sorry, I had my mic muted. Yeah, it's on, but people have to
Okay.
refresh, so it's gonna
Hello,
take
everybody.
until they refresh.
Welcome back to
the
Tubes Scoria.
Good.
So what were we talking about?
I think the future paths Anton was going to take. So I'll just go through in really quick brief. Either he's going to stick with his brothers and forsake Velthara. He's going to stick with Velthara for the sake of his brothers. He's going to join Atropos to get away from Velthara, or he's going to kill Atropos, maybe for Velthara, or at least bare minimum for vengeance for his brothers. I think those are one of the four paths. There is maybe a chance that he talks to Nerul, says like everything he's done has been for his family, has been for his home. He does feel somewhat sorry about killing his dad. Maybe that'll be like his big turning point, but he's not sure yet. He doesn't know about Atropos either, so that's not really it.
Now, Nerul is one of those gods that we haven't really talked about very much or really explored all that much. We know that their domain is family, home, hearth. Do you think that you might have done something to make Nerul not want you as one of their clerics?
Absolutely. Anton did kill his father. However, second chances are, something that the gods might reflect on, and maybe because he killed his father and he realized how important family actually is, and that could be his biggest regret in the future. Maybe that's why he could be a Nerul cleric. He's someone who has gone through it and has done everything for his family and is forsaking arguably one of the most powerful deities for his family. That's kind of where his thinking is right now. This does hinge on the fact that Velthara doesn't change his mind, doesn't reach out to him here, or doesn't change his mind back on there, but as he's floating through this abyss, this is where his thought is like going.
Right. Well, you don't ever get a sign from her. Ever. There's
He
no
waits.
sign. Do you have any other spells that you could cast, or that you would have interest in casting? You've eaten a bunch of short ribs, but you haven't gained any HP.
Interesting. Okay. Even with my Cloak of Plenty, giving me a full night's rest. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna cast Etherealness inside of this weird fucking plane, so that he's gonna stay away from that. He'll cast Prayer and pray to Velthara.
This gives you the benefit of a bless, I think, and some other things, or...
Yeah, some pluses, but I assume we're not needing that.
Yeah.
He'll cast Unfailing Endurance just to feel better.
Yeah? You start
That's
burning through those spells? You
pretty
got
much
that
all he's got,
endurance?
And then I think at this point, he'll just stop casting spells and have even more contempt for Velthara.
At what point do you start looking at that?
Spear?
Well, let's talk about the spears. Because you've noticed, you eat your short ribs, you let go of the bones, and then you can't ever find the bones again. They're gone. So how possible is it for you to maintain a physical grip on your spear for 55 meals? 60 meals?
How possible is it for him to attain a grip?
Yeah, like when
grip?
when you fall asleep, wouldn't
Yeah.
you at some point let go of the spear?
I would say that this spear is super important to him right now, and the one in his amulet as well, because these are going to be the tools that he uses to kill Scoria when his brothers come. So I think he like just holds it like this at times. It's a very important thing at this point. This is kind of a symbol of hope for him. My brothers are going to need me to use this spear to kill Scoria, so I have to keep it here.
Yeah. But it's a long time in this void. And when you sleep, it's hard to keep a grip on things. It's not impossible, but it is difficult. I want you to make me a die roll to see if during one of these times where you're sleeping, it falls away from you. Unfortunately,
what would you like? Strength or dex?
I actually think willpower is the right roll, which is very sad because you have very high willpower and you can
23.
hold on to it. Yeah. You can maintain a grip on this spear through all this time.
He maintains a solid grip because this is the tool he's going to use to help for when his brothers, not Velthara, his brothers come.
You know,
he's given up hope on Velthara, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and if you're ever gonna have a chat with your brothers, isn't this the best place to do it? Velthara is sort of far away from you right now. If she can hear your thoughts, this is the furthest and most distant it'll ever be. Right?
Yeah, I want to do some die roll here because I think that he's thinking about like tossing the amulet at this point, but he's not like super sure. I don't know. I'll roll a D100, and if I get 15 or below, he'll toss it. And he keeps it for now.
That was a very casual 15% chance of throwing your amulet into the sea.
I think it's fair.
Well,
if time goes on further, he'll probably make another one. It just depends on how long he's here.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to judge these things. Yeah. Is there anything else that is worth noting that goes through Anton's mind out here?
Just the longer he spends, the more contempt and the more sure that he's going to turn away Velthara. So that is just kind of be going for what it is. And the more that he's sure that his family and his brothers are going to come, yeah, I think that's kind of what goes through it currently. He might even like pray to not Nerul, not for him to save him, but for him to guide his brothers on their journey to him. He'll toss one of those out. Yeah, he doesn't expect an answer back, but
no answers. And it's just you and your blank void for an endless sea of time through 80 meals of bones, short ribs.
Anton probably at this point sometime does have like a come to Jesus moment where his father like probably didn't deserve to die by his hand, and there could have been amends. He even remembers, I think, the time that his dad like told him like, "Good job for being dragon slayers. Like, I'm proud of you." So I think at this point
that was like right before you killed him too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he's feeling genuine regret, I would say, floating through this void.
Well, you are floating through this void until one day you're not. One day something bumps into you and you hear the voices of your brothers who would please turn on their cameras now and join us in the game.
Wow, hello.
The two of you have finished your journey through the rift, reflecting on the past, estimating for the future, getting your jimmies a little riled. And you emerge on the other side in an empty nothingness, sort of tumbling head over heels, bounding through nothing. I'm sure you speak up as you bump into something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think as soon as we get through the rift, I probably cast that spell. Like this should be the place. This should be where he is.
And that is
Anton
what you would
hears his
hear.
brother.
Mm-hmm.
Anton will probably just start like crying. like weeping or sobbing.
Till,
Is
I
that
hear
you?
that. That's him. Can we see him or not? I
It's-
think I just fumble
No,
around
it-
with my hands in the
Endless
direction
black void.
until I finally get a hand on him and embrace him.
After we come into this dimension, I'm sure I'd probably pull the imp out of the backpack, right?
Oh yeah. Imprick.
Imp.
I see nothing. Anton will just like hug you and just be like a babbling mess, like just nonstop, like crying, and he might mutter something about Nerul, like guided you, like praise
I
him.
can't believe it. I can't believe it. The elves were right. You're still alive. This is a miracle.
How
Tyrell,
long
I
have I
didn't
been
think.
here, Emmerich?
Oh god, that's a whole other problem. I don't know. It's only
Where's
been a few
Gabriel?
weeks, I think. He's here. He's here somewhere.
I'm here. Hello.
place is
Anton.
strange.
Anton will feel around, just sobbing.
Imric, you notice you're no longer a Pegasus. You are just a human again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Anton, you've got no idea. The places we've been, the things we've had to do to get here, and now that I hold you, I can tell it was all worth it. Come, you must be sick of this place. We can go home.
Did you kill Scoria?
Without you, of course not.
He,
Even if I'd have wanted to, I don't think we could have done it. We had no choice.
Anton will say, I knew you guys were gonna come. It was the only thing that kept me going. I have the spear. I'm ready for Scoria.
Yeah,
I'm ready
well,
to be of use, Tyrael. He says, crying.
Of course, you were useful. You landed the final blow on that dragon before you disappeared into this dimension. We could have never defeated Scoria without you.
I couldn't breathe, and I didn't have the water breathing spell. After that, I think Mummy cast it on me.
you made the right choice. You're alive still.
But I do feel 1 level stronger.
I do as
Will
well,
do.
actually.
Worry not, brothers. Worry
We all do.
not.
Maybe 2 levels stronger, actually.
I just need to go home and recollect about the things I've experienced, and I feel like I'll be able to grasp it.
Anton will say, wait, before we go, Emmerich, I do have something that I need to say.
Speak,
He'll
brother.
feel around for a bag of holding. Is there a bag of holding anywhere?
I've got a little pouch just above my crotch if you'd like to feel in that direction.
He thinks about putting the Velthara amulet in there. Has he ever done that before, Koibu?
Taking it off?
He's taken it off, absolutely. He took it off.
He
to
wouldn't
wear
put it in
the
there, though, because it
18.
has extra
That's
dimensional
what I was
space.
about to ask. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, yeah.
Not again!
Yeah, no. Has he ever put it in a bag of holding? Has it been fine or no?
You've never put it in a bag of holding.
He's been in a bag of holding wearing it, though.
I have been in a bag of holding wearing it, so is it...
Let's just... Brother, before
That's
we
all
do all
risk
this,
it.
let's go home. And we'll figure this out once we get back.
Anton will say, no, this is the only way we can speak without her hearing. And he's going to go on to quickly, like, explain pretty much what you've heard me babbling about, what he's gone through, what he feels like, what Velthara asked of him afterwards. Pretty much everything except the Atropos stuff, because he doesn't know about it. He's going to explain his feelings and ask, you know, what do I do?
Anton, I think maybe you're too quick to dismiss how she's helped you. The path to this place led through one of Velthara's protoplanes. A rift opened up in the plane of air. I don't know the specifics, but perhaps she's the reason why you're not dead. She's the reason why we were able to find you. It could be.
That is interesting. I did pray to her many a time, but then I started praying to Nerul, and here you are. What she asked of me afterwards, I don't feel comfortable with. I don't know if I can. I don't want to abandon you.
Look, I think right now we should be more worried about what we're going to find when we go home. The elves spoke at length about the risks of coming here, of time dilation. We don't know what's going to be waiting for us when we get back. Let's go home, let's assess the situation, and we can talk honestly about it then. I'm just glad that you're alive, Anton. If that's all that matters right now.
I'm excited to go home and be with you guys. I don't know how my spellcasting ability is going to be affected, but we'll see.
Let's not waste another moment in this dimension, and let's leave as soon as possible. We don't know how time passes here, and it'd be better to speak.
Did you
What?
already take off the amulet, or is it still on you?
It's still on him at this point.
Okay, I just had to know. Sorry, keep going, Steven.
Yeah, I think it's better to speak as men in the plane of men, on the ground of men, rather than floating through the abyss. Let's go home.
I agree. Let's go.
Please
Hold
take
hands.
me out of my grave, and I'll grab you. And we...
Activate the
away
planar manipulator.
we go. Our party will
Plus imprick.
rip themselves back through the voids, back through the different planes, all the way back to the prime material plane, all the way back to the island of Bravo,
Oh.
on that jungle land, so far away from home, but at least on the same plane of existence.
Are we in her cave or no?
No.
Okay.
You are... where are we on Bravo? Let's just roll a quick die here. You're in a random spot on Bravo. You are... right... 1, 2, 3... You are here. Atop... Oops. I gotta bring you... Oh, you are here. Atop these mountains. I guess trapped in the clouds. On a tall peak. The wind's blowing over you and around you, sort of gray, swirling mists everywhere. The stone underneath your feet is foreign to you, Anton. You can see trees around you that you've never seen before. Somewhere out in the mist, you can hear some sort of monster growling. There's lightning in the distance that sort of illuminates things from time to time, and rolling thunder you can feel in your feet. The other players easily recognize the trees here as of Bravo. And know that you are still a little bit ways from home.
Imric will look out across the valley instinctively towards the southeast corner of the island as he messes with the rings on his finger and puts on the ring of spell storing. And I was already wearing it. I say, well, I don't know where we are, but I think this is still Bravo. Shall we return home?
What does the ring of spell storing do? Do you have a teleport on it?
Yes.
Where are you going to teleport?
Back to Wixron-Marenta.
To your home? To your capital?
Well, or we could go to
Glorious
the
capital.
or we could go to the keep.
I wish to see Mother. It's been too long, Emmerich.
What day is it? I wonder. If I could rest, we could maybe do some. I'm worrying too much. It's probably
Let's
fine.
just
right,
go
Tyrell?
back. Let's go back to the capital. Yeah.
What is the chance of arriving in the right space?
Whatever the rings is, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's teleport, so it's going to be very high because it's somewhere that I always teleport to.
Excellent. So which place are you going to? Wixron-Marenta, or are you going to your castle?
I think we're going to the capital.
Are you going to do your divination spell to see if it's going to work, or are you just
I
going
don't
to
have
go?
it. I don't have it. Does Anton have a long beard? Does he feel aged or?
No.
Okay.
No.
We just teleport then, yeah?
Well, Nick, give me a D100.
Imric considers. Has there been enough time passed that the room may have moved around enough that we could be teleporting into certain death? I looked at how easy would it be to get down off this mountain and find a place to rest?
Well, you tell me. You're
Wait, hold on.
Imric
Wait, why aren't we just
McGarry.
teleporting right now?
Because let's say a year's passed and all the furniture in the room has moved around. We could be teleporting into a bed or into a... We could be...
The only way that
teleporting
our
to certain
teleport...
death.
No. The only way it would be fucked up is if our kingdom is destroyed. Why the fuck would people rearrange the
No one would
room?
move it. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
then
know
we
that.
literally have expressly set up for teleporting. That would be wild. I'll produce from my bag a potion of Claire... I have clairvoyance and clair audio. What was the other one called?
Clairaudience, that's a good point.
Okay, if you want, you can drink one of these to check first to make sure nothing has changed.
Good idea, Tyrell. Yeah, hand me the potion.
Okay, I'll give him
Give me the clairvoyance.
one potion of clairvoyance. I have one left.
I will drink that and scry on our room, our teleport room.
Anton
In
will...
your...
Yeah.
Wait,
In
didn't
our
you get
house.
another crystal ball?
Oh yeah, I do have another crystal ball. I guess I can use
Well-
that. I forgot about the crystal ball.
Crystal
Either
ball.
way. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Somewhere in a pack. You gaze upon the room, your house, right? That warehouse
The
that your
warehouse.
mother bought that got rebuilt and has your soldiers in it and has your servants and your minions and your officers. And what room in that house is your teleport room? Tell me about it a little bit.
It's probably like there's like a top floor with 3 bedrooms and a teleport room. So it's like our
Converted
rooms and then converted bedroom. But then like the floor below that and the floor above that will just be empty rooms as well.
Okay, so like an attic space where you've, told
Laid
people never
out.
to set anything. And,
Yeah.
Okay. So you look into this teleport room, and it is dusty and filled with cobwebs and some dead spiders hanging out in the corners. You get the look that like no one has been here in a long time.
Probably like 4 or 5 days, it sounds like.
I clear the crystal ball and scry on the keep.
I thought you were using the clairvoyance potion, but sure,
Well, he remembered he had his
whatever.
crystal
You can
ball.
pull out the.
Yeah, I
Sure,
used
sure.
the crystal ball.
Well, in that case, we need to actually make die rolls to see if you can find these places, because it is
That's
a
fine.
chance.
So you go.
right?
I don't read donos
Okay, well, if
during
it doesn't work,
D&D,
I'll
you
use the
fucking
patience to
loser.
try on the
Okay?
room.
Sure. No, I
But-
think it works. 22 is a great chance. Where are you
Yeah.
scrying upon?
Just above the keep. I just want to see the keep. I see like the town square and
It fizzles and breaks the spell.
Oh,
The
well,
use
obviously,
of the-
Nick.
Why?
wait, what do you mean?
You did it above the keep, right?
Yeah.
Well, the keep has magic resist, I think, or like the stuff that you can't spy on.
I guess so. I scry on like the market then in the town.
Your crystal ball has been, I guess you want to call it, repelled and is non-functional for a period of time.
Something's going on.
We need to be there quickly, then. No.
I'll drink. Then I will drink that potion of clairvoyance. Fuck it. If I drink
go
it,
ahead.
what is it? How does this work? What?
You have the room that you need, right?
Stop! Wait,
Yeah.
no, hold on. Wait, I want to know what's going on. We do have the room that we need, but now we're trying to get a fix on things.
Yeah, let's take a look at the potion of clairvoyance.
Yeah, let's do it. As I swirl it
Oh,
around and I
wow.
look before it and I recall what I was told about this potion after we acquired it.
I can explain it. I have the spell, I think.
Can you do sending and contact shine or anything?
I would need to sleep.
Okay.
But if we can get down off this mountain, then we've got options.
+1 Anton, -1 shine. She's dead.
All right. It's exactly the same thing as the spell, except you can see it differs from the spell in that the unknown areas up to 30 yards distant can be seen, and its effects last for 10 minutes.
30 yards.
So 30 yards.
So it's useless in this scenario.
Wait, from where you are or from the area you're trying to clairvoyance on?
It kind of creates a sensor, and then you can see everything within 30 yards of that
Oh,
sensor.
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so can I use this and then can I do multiple spots? It lasts for 10 minutes, right? Or is it just one spot?
I believe you pick one place, and you scry on that one place.
Okay, I probably want to do like the town square in Wickthrun Rarentha, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do that, and then look around for 30 yards in either direction.
Not feeling this music right now, guys.
Clairvoyance is a 3rd level spell.
Yes.
Locale must be known, familiar, or obvious. Yes. Light is a factor. The spell does not enable the use of infravision or magical enchantments. It's daylight out here. It's misty and it's sort of overcast, but it's still daylight, so you can see.
Cool. And then do I hear the rustle and bustle of a busy, healthy, vibrant town, or?
You see, you do not hear, but you see a busy street. You see huddled masses of people by the hundreds crowded into a small tent city in the once thriving market square. You see, people shuffling by, carts going through the town, passing out food to the folks gathered here.
Oh, they're under siege.
Patrols of soldiers marching through along with the food and grain and bread, keeping the path clear, making sure that there's no thievery going on.
You're Kissian?
Yes. Dracissian flags, Dracissian armor, Dracissian weapons, and markings.
Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Teleport back home?
We go home, sneak into the keep, and work out what's happened, right?
Sneak into the keep. Wait, no, I meant go back to Withdrawing Rentha. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying we go back, then without other people seeing us, we get to the queen and we need to find out what's happened.
Correct.
We don't want to be seen.
We don't want Scoria to know we're here.
Sure. Yeah,
Yes.
If we can.
that's fair.
Okay, get ready.
Roll us a D100. Don't fuck it up.
Nick, for once in your life,
I'm
this
not
seriously,
fucking up
please.
before. Okay, I'm focusing.
I feel like you're gonna get it. Nick.
Wait, I think that might be good. You don't want high, right?
You don't want high or low.
Nick,
You don't want either.
come on, Nick. Are you serious? And then we die, and that's the end. After all of this.
It's fine.
We get walked to a random plane because we teleport into a table.
You appear 10 feet above your target zone. You appear in your
On the roof.
dusty attic.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
That's actually
There is
exactly where we
a-
wanted to be.
Yeah.
A marking on the ground, a line that you traced here long ago and told all the servants never, ever, under any circumstances, put anything within this box I've drawn on the ground. And true to their word, they've never put anything here. But there is cargo, and there is storage, and there are crates that are piled up all around this box in the attic, leaving you sort of encased by stuff. But here, alive, intact, home.
What is this imp with you, Imric?
Hello! I think
Uh,
this
yeah.
is the perfect time to end our session for the next 3 weeks.
Damn, 3 weeks.
All right.
An hour early?
3 weeks,
Yeah.
Koibu.
We can't even
Yeah.
talk to the queen?
Where the fuck are you going?
I'm going camping with some friends.
For 3 weeks. Oh, you go to Burning Man.
Well, it's gonna take a while. You know, we got to pack. It's a long drive.
Oh my
a
God.
week and a half there. Long drive back. A little bit of time to decompress and sort out my life.
All right, well, we'll be back in mid-September.
I think September 15th is probably our day.
September 15th, indeed, is what I'm looking at.
I don't know, guys. I think I'm on holiday September 15th.
Shut up.
No, I think they are.
Maybe serious.
Not the day I go away.
No, it's
A week.
not. You can...
We'll be back the 14th then.
We'll be back on the
The 14th I can do.
22nd.
The 14th I can do.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know if
we
I
got
can
3
do
weeks
it,
to figure
but
it out.
we'll
figure
see.
it out. We got time.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Okay, well, hey, listen, it's been fun. We got Anton back. We lost everything else, but, it's all about family in the end.
For the
okay?
family, baby.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
We'll see you guys
cool.
later, and then I'll be back streaming after this.
I have
What?
one quick question, Koibu.
What?
Nope is the answer. I can't tell you. You'll have to wait.
What?
Thank you.
No, what? What was the question?
Well, I was going to ask him, I have the amulet on. Where's Scoria?
It'll all have to
Oh, shit. Well, we should at least get
Oh.
that. Just one.
Come
wait. It'll
on.
all
Just a taste.
Wait.
He doesn't know where she is.
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't
doesn't
know.
know. He
He
doesn't know.
Omega Lol doesn't know.
He's not sure.
He hasn't written that far ahead yet. Okay.
We'll see you guys in a month.
All right. We'll see you guys
See you
later.
later.
Have fun. Oh, no, I'll be back after this, guys. Have fun.